If you can't lose belly fat, the problem is not calories, it's cortisol. One of the clearest signs of high cortisol is waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. Belly fat is hormonally driven, and cortisol tells the body to store fat around the waist. When cortisol is high at night, fat burning shuts down. Most people think fat loss happens during workouts. That's wrong. Most fat loss happens during deep sleep, when growth hormone is released. Cortisol and growth hormone work against each other. If cortisol is high, growth hormone is blocked. If you wake up at 3 a.m., your body is already in a stress response. Adrenaline is high, cortisol is high, fat burning is off. This is why more dieting doesn't fix belly fat. More restriction raises cortisol further. More cardio makes it worse. Waking up at night is not a sleep problem. It's metabolic instability. Blood sugar drops. Cortisol rises to keep you alive. Belly fat is a survival response. Your body chooses survival over fat loss every time. To lose belly fat, you don't need more discipline. You need lower nighttime cortisol. That's the real bottleneck. In the next part, we'll break down exactly what causes cortisol to spike at 3 a.m. and why belly fat gets locked in place. Cortisol spikes at 3 a.m. because your brain is running out of fuel. During the day, your liver stores glucose in the form of glycogen. At night, when you stop eating, your brain depends entirely on that liver glycogen to maintain stable blood sugar. In a low-stress, well-fed body, that supply lasts until morning. But under chronic stress, heavy training, aggressive dieting, or high caffeine intake, liver glycogen is already depleted before you go to bed. As you sleep, blood sugar slowly drops. Around 3 a.m., the liver can no longer keep up. Blood sugar falls below a critical threshold, and the brain interprets this as an emergency. It does not see fat loss, it sees starvation. To prevent shutdown, the brain activates the adrenal glands. Adrenaline is released to wake you up instantly. Cortisol follows to raise blood sugar by breaking down muscle tissue and converting it into glucose. This is why you wake up alert, not sleepy. This is why your heart races. And this is why fat burning stops. Cortisol's job at 3 a.m. is survival, not aesthetics. It prioritizes immediate fuel, even if that means sacrificing muscle and preserving belly fat as a long-term energy reserve. As long as this nighttime blood sugar crash continues, cortisol will keep spiking, growth hormone will stay suppressed, and belly fat will remain locked in place. Belly fat stays because cortisol blocks fat-burning hormones at night. Fat loss is hormonally controlled, not by willpower. The main fat-burning hormone during sleep is growth hormone. Growth hormone is released during deep, uninterrupted sleep. Growth hormone protects muscle and pulls energy from fat cells. This is when belly fat is supposed to shrink. Cortisol directly interferes with this process. These two hormones work in opposite directions. When cortisol is high, growth hormone cannot do its job. If you wake up at 3 a.m., the growth hormone window is missed. Instead of burning fat, your body enters a catabolic state. In a catabolic state, muscle is broken down for fuel while fat is preserved, especially belly fat. This is why you can be skinny but still have belly fat. Muscle loss and fat storage can happen at the same time. Many people respond by dieting harder or adding more cardio, which increases cortisol even more. The body reads this as more stress. More stress means more cortisol, and belly fat becomes even more protected. This creates a loop. High cortisol at night, low growth hormone, poor fat loss. The problem is not effort. The problem is timing. Hormones must be low stress at night for belly fat to leave. As long as cortisol spikes at night, belly fat will stay, no matter how clean your diet looks. To unlock belly fat, you must restore deep sleep hormones. That means stopping the nighttime cortisol spike. In the next part, we'll focus on the solution, how to stabilize blood sugar at night so cortisol never needs to rise. The solution is not forcing sleep. The solution is preventing the emergency. If cortisol spikes at 3 a.m. because blood sugar drops, then the intervention is simple. Keep blood sugar stable through the night. This is where the sleep anchor comes in. The sleep anchor is a small, targeted intake before bed designed to support liver glycogen, not spike insulin. It is not a meal, it is metabolic insurance. Its only job is to make sure the liver battery does not die at 3 a.m. Component 1 is a small amount of fast-acting liver fuel. Raw honey works because its fructose is preferentially stored in the liver. 1 teaspoon is enough. This refills liver glycogen without flooding the bloodstream. Component 2 is fat. Fat slows digestion and turns a short glucose signal into a slow, steady release. This prevents a spike and crash effect. Fat is what makes the anchor last all night. Component 3 is glycine. Glycine calms the nervous system, lowers core body temperature, and counteracts stress hormones. It tells the brain that it is safe to stay asleep. Together, these 3 components stop the 3 a.m. crash before it happens. Blood sugar stays stable. The brain stays calm. The adrenal glands stay quiet. Cortisol stays low. This does not cause fat gain. It prevents fat retention. By removing the nighttime cortisol spike, you reopen the growth hormone window. Fat burning resumes while you sleep. The sleep anchor is not a hack. It is a correction. You are not adding calories to lose fat. You are removing stress so fat is allowed to leave. Fat loss was never meant to be a war, yet most people treat their bodies like enemies. They eat less, train harder, sleep worse, and live in constant pressure to fix themselves faster. And the body does not interpret this as discipline. It interprets it as danger. In biology, fat is not a flaw. Fat is survival insurance. When the brain senses stress, sleep disruption, energy shortage, or hormonal chaos, its job is not to make you lean. Its job is to keep you alive. And in that state, belly fat becomes necessary. Here is the truth most people never hear. The body does not release fat when it is forced. It releases fat only when there is no longer a reason to hold it. When nights are quiet, when sleep is deep and uninterrupted, when hormones return to their natural rhythm, when cortisol no longer crashes the system at 3 a.m., fat stops being protection and becomes excess. Fat loss at its deepest level is not about burning. It is about restoring biological trust. Trust that energy will be available. Trust that sleep is safe. Trust that stress is no longer in control. Trust that tomorrow is not a threat. When the body feels safe, it no longer needs to store. It no longer needs to defend. It begins to let go. Not through effort, but through permission. You do not need to force your body to change. You only need to give it a reason to release.